Hello everyone, this is Mr. Obvious, bringing you the obvious. I've got a story for you today. It's a story about nefarious Pepe memes, anomalous, and the truth. The secret lives of Facebook moderators in America, the trauma floor. So this is an article by The Verge. So we're going to go over this, we're going to look over this article because there's a lot of crazy stuff in it. This is a story about people who moderate content on Facebook, and I've got to say, it really shows how you can be red-pilled by viewing content you may not agree with, and woken up to reality. Content warning, this story contains discussion of serious mental health issues and racism. Yeah, because apparently Pepe is, it might just give you PTSD. Those nefarious memes. Could hacker 4chan be behind this? The panic attack started after Chloe watched a man die. She spent the past 3.5 weeks in training, trying to harden herself against the daily onslaught of disturbing posts. The hate speech. Oh no, because words are so terrible. The violent attacks. The graphic pornography. In a few more days, she will become a full-time Facebook content moderator, or what the company she works for, a professional services vendor named Cognizant, opaquely calls a process executive. I like how these companies come up with these meaningless terms to make jobs sound fancy. She's a mod, a paid mod on Facebook. It's nothing fancy. For this portion of her education, Chloe will have to moderate a Facebook post in front of her fellow trainees. When it's her turn, she walks to the front of the room, where a monitor displays a video that has been posted to the world's largest social network. None of the trainees had seen it before, Chloe included. She presses play. The video depicts a man being murdered. Someone is stabbing him dozens of times, while he screams and begs for his life. Chloe's job is to tell the room whether this post should be removed. She knows that Section 13 of the Facebook community Oh, okay, I'm sorry, guys. It's no laughing matter. She knows that Section 13 of the Facebook She knows that Section 13 of the Facebook community standards prohibits videos that depict the murder of one or more people. You don't say. When Chloe explains this to her class, she hears her voice shaking. Returning to her seat, Chloe feels an overpowering urge to sob. Another trainee has gone up to review the next post, but Chloe cannot concentrate. She leaves the room and begins to cry so hard that she has trouble breathing. So as you can see, poor Chloe here has to see content that's a little bit too much for her virgin eyes. Anyone who is old enough to have grown up when the internet was being developed has seen all of this. They've seen violent attacks, they've seen gore, they've seen all sorts of stuff. And you know what? It doesn't bother them. They're used to it because that is the world we live in. The world is a scary, dangerous place. That doesn't mean that you have to be so sensitive to what's going on. Recognize that this is the reality, and your job is to clean it up. Hide the truth from others. Apparently. I personally think that kind of content shouldn't even be banned. People should see what the world really is. No one tries to comfort her. This is the job she was hired to do. And for the 1,000 people like Chloe moderating content for Facebook at the Phoenix site, and for 15 content reviewers around the world, today is just another day at the office. So a content moderator working for Cognizant in Arizona will earn just $28,000 per year. It's not really a lot, but it's not a little bit either. I don't know if it's worth it for the kind of work they're doing. Collectively, the employees described a workplace that is perpetually teetering on the brink of chaos. It is an environment where workers cope by telling dark jokes about committing suicide, then smoke weed during breaks to numb their emotions. It's a place where employees can be fired for making just a few errors a week, and where those who remain live in fear of the former colleagues who return seeking vengeance. Yeah, well, these certainly don't sound like hipster millennials. And I'm not sure weed is the best thing to be smoking if you're actually watching this kind of content moderating. But hey, that's just me. And these guys are treated like absolute trash, like slaves. Team leaders micromanage content moderators every bathroom and prayer break. Prayer break? Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, they certainly seem to be promoting diversity. Where employees, desperate for a dopamine rush amid the misery, have been found having sex inside stairwells in a room reserved for lactating mothers. So, wow, okay, so apparently if you're a content moderator for Facebook, you smoke weed at your job and you have sex, and you become a complete degenerate. Sounds like the life. Where do I sign up? Now, here's the key point of the article that I really want to bring home, because this is the red pilling part. This is where exposure to the truth actually wakes some of these people up. The moderators told me it's a place where the conspiracy videos and memes that they see each day gradually lead them to embrace fringe views. And they call it fringe views, but what they really mean is unpolitically correct. And political correctness is often not the truth. So there's a lot of people seeing the truth, and eventually it's waking them up. This, my friends, is red pilling. One auditor walks the floor promoting the idea that Earth is flat. A former employee told me he has begun to question certain aspects of the Holocaust. Who could be behind this? Another former employee who told me he has mapped every escape route out of his house and sleeps with a gun by his side. I no longer believe 9/11 was a terrorist attack. I like how out of this list, one is not like the others. It's important to note, for example, if we're talking about 9/11, that the people who hijacked the plane apparently had CIA training. So think about that fact for a second. I'm not saying that these people weren't terrorists. I'm saying what enabled them to do what they did was the CIA. It backfired. Why does no one ever talk about that? Chloe cries for a while in the break room and then in the bathroom, but begins to worry that she is missing too much training. She had been frantic for a job when she applied, as a recent college graduate with no other immediate prospects. When she becomes a full-time moderator, Chloe will make $15 an hour, far more than the minimum wage in Arizona, where she lives, and better than she can expect from most retail jobs. So Chloe's a normie. She's absolutely weak, and it's obvious that she was sheltered her entire life. She's a recent college graduate, so I have to assume she got some worthless degree like in gender studies. And now she's taking this job because that's all there is. And she can't handle it. She's been sheltered her entire life. Sheltered from the truth about this world. And you see this a lot with people on the left. They have no frame of reference for reality. They have no fear. They don't understand that, not holding in the border is actually bad because bad people can come through. Drugs, violence, and crime. And that puts our people at risk. That illegal immigrants might be implicated in crimes that hurt real Americans. These people have no reference. They think the world is a fantasy land. And mean words. Oh, that's so terrible, and we have to shut it down. These are the kinds of people that you're dealing with. The tears eventually stop humming, and her breathing returns to normal. When she goes back to the training room, one of her peers discussing another violent video. She sees that a drone is shooting people from the air. Chloe watches the bodies go limp as they die. She leaves the room again. So as you can see, some of this stuff is actually pretty tame. And I mean, it's not something that would bother me. It's clear that these people are really sensitive. I'm not going to say that there's not crazy stuff that's posted, but how sheltered do you have to be not to know what a drone strike is like? And here's a picture of their little cuck office. It looks like they're all having a pretty good time. So like most companies, Facebook outsources these jobs, and there's very terrible working conditions. So these people really are just treated like little slaves. So how are they being red-pilled? Well, I'm just going to go in the search bar here and look for meme. Lee, who worked as a moderator for about a year, was one of several employees who said the workplace was rife with pitch black humor. Employees would compete to send each other the most racist and offensive memes, he said in an effort to lighten the mood. As an ethnic minority, Lee was a frequent target of his coworkers, and he embraced what he saw as a good-natured racist jokes at his expense, he says. But over time, he grew concerned for his mental health. We were doing something that was darkening our soul, or whatever you call it, he says. What else do you do at that point? The one thing that makes us laugh is actually damaging to us. I had to watch myself when I was joking around in public. I would accidentally say offensive things all the time, and then be like, oh, I'm at the grocery store. I cannot be talking like this. And there's that political correctness again. You see, what this person is describing is red pilling. Now I want to take a look at a post by Hacker 4chan where we can describe this process. Here it says, the true horror of browsing poll for any length of time is not discovering the evil within, but coming to realize the true nature of the evil without. And that nearly everything society has told you about the world and about history is either a complete fabrication or half-truth, spun in such a way to force you to think in a manner that benefits a particular group of people. Imagine being blind your entire life. Imagine listening to people with a functioning vision about how the world works, describing what things look like and so on. Without any frame of reference, you would have little choice but to believe them. Now imagine suddenly gaining the ability to see and realizing not only that many of the people around you aren't even human, but that those who most resemble you are also blind. And everything they have been telling you has merely been them parroting the things of putrid monsters overseeing them have whispered in their ears. You look at the world that you were told was full of beauty and only find death, decay, and madness. Welcome to Pole. Enjoy your stay. Like most of the former moderators I spoke with, Chloe quit after about a year. Among other things, she had grown concerned about the spread of conspiracy theories among her colleagues. One QA often discussed his belief that the Earth was flat with his colleagues, and was actively trying to recruit other people into believing. One of Melig's colleagues once referred casually to the Holohoax, which Miguel took as a signal that the man was a Holocaust denier. Conspiracy theories were often well received on the production floor, 6 moderators told me. People really started to believe these posts they were supposed to be moderating, she says. They were saying, oh gosh, they weren't really there. Look at that CNN video of David Hogg. He's too old to be in school. People started Googling things instead of doing their jobs and looking into conspiracy theories about them. We were like, guys, no, this is the crazy stuff we're supposed to be moderating. What are you doing? So, yeah, people actually looking into the posts that they're suppressing and actually doing the research to see if it's true. Somehow this is bad. And this also goes to show that Facebook, their moderation isn't about what's true or not. It's about what's politically correct. It's about the mainstream narrative. They cover up the truth constantly. And by being exposed to this content, people start waking up. Of course, there's a few, there is some conspiracies in there. The Earth is obviously not flat. But there's other questions that can be exposed, like CNN. They're absolute fake news. David Hogg is an absolute snake who hijacked a school shooting to get famous. Last year, a former Facebook moderator in California sued the company saying her job as a contractor with the firm Pro Unlimited had left her with PTSD. Yes, because Pepe memes and stories about the Holocaust, that'll give you PSD. It's so that it was just a meme, it was just a joke when I said it, but apparently, that's absolutely true. You can get PSD from seeing posts that you don't like. And so the article basically goes on and on about these poor employees and, etc., etc. But here's the real truth, folks. These are moderators, and yeah, I'm sure they see a lot of crazy stuff, but that's life. That's what the world is like. And as you begin to see the world as it is, you will change your thinking. They think they can change our minds by coming here. What they don't realize is that it's their minds we're effing with. We bait them with extreme political views, and then we twist them with small morsels of reason, just enough to keep them here debating, while we feed them slightly more and more. Eventually, they grow accustomed to the taste. Even though they still identify us as their enemy, they slowly turn, easing ever so slowly to our side. There comes a point where they return back to their left-wing sites like Reddit, Tumblr, etc., but something's wrong. They just can't entirely agree with their old peers, or even their own posted views before poll. Then it works its way in. Everything we've been saying, everything they tried to debate against, they begin seeing it in their left-wing peers. A disgust grows inside them. They begin arguing with their own kind, but their own kind is too ideological to permit such reasoned debate. They leave the left wing with total disgust and anger, hateful of who they once were and who they associated with. The disgust drives them back here to post about FU poll. I used to be insert ideology here. Only then do they see the elegance of this masterful mental jailbreak. The conversion is complete. Welcome to freedom. And that's exactly what's going on here. And I honestly find this article absolutely hilarious. And they talk about moderating other platforms like Twitter, Google, and YouTube, and, essentially suppressing free speech. That's what it's all about, folks. But if you want to take a look at this article, I will leave a link. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed reading about these people and PSD over Pepe memes and drone videos. I've got to say, honestly, there's a lot of people out there who are too sheltered, who don't really understand the internet, and who have never seen a bad thing in their entire lives. They are sensitive, and I gotta be honest, I think a lot of these people are just snowflakes. But that's merely the obvious. Well, that's all for now, folks. Let me know what you think about this story. A lot of people are talking about it. Do you think these poor moderators, you think they're too sensitive, or maybe they're just not used to it? They're not used to the internet. Let me know what you think. And as always, if you want to contribute to the channel, you can do so through Patreon, Subscribestar, or PayPal. Anyways, thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Obvious, and I'll see you all next time.